Hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for doing this and signing up for a free consult. You actually had a fantastic question, and I even brought up my handy glasses today for kind of brightening the eye and being able to wear makeup with your glasses. And I think it's something that you absolutely can achieve. I'm going to show you with nudes today, just so that it's not something that's scary. I mean, I could have showed you something bright and funky, but I don't go out of the house looking bright and funky every day either. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this. You can get this on Amazon. There's one that I don't have the one out of my makeup case, so this one looks trashy. NYX sells one. These are the color correcting palettes.
Okay.
This one, if you go on and you type in makeup artist color correcting palette, this is what you're going to get. This is the color. Okay. It is Oompa Loompa orange, orange, orange. I love these little, ignore my two broke nails that I just got done on Sunday. It's a whole nother story. They're the little tiny ones. So if you measure them up to the big one, so you have a big blender brush, and then you have the little tiny babies. The babies you can get, I think, even at CVS or whatever, bag of them, 10 of them for like $2.99.
Nice.
Always wet them.
Oh.
And then don't let them drip. You're just dampening them, because once you've done your moisturizing routine or priming routine, whatever, I do suggest it, especially kind of it doesn't make everything cakey on us and pill. Like sometimes you'll get like those little pilling from putting any kind of a concealer on, and then you're like, God, it just looks funky on me. But your face really needs to kind of be evened out. So I always say any serums, any glow tonics, those kinds of things go first. And then you're locking it in with a moisturizer. If you only want to use a moisturizer, that's great. Either way, but you really should be priming your face with that. Then I was obsessed for like a hot minute spending money on the Milk Hydrating Primer, which to this day I'll still swear by, but I did find a fantastic dupe through a colleague of mine, and it's by NYX. It's a heck of a lot cheaper, and it is marshmallow, and it smells like marshmallows, and it comes with a little marshmallow applicator. And it's so cute. Like the whole thing comes together, and I don't know. I really, really like it. I feel like it makes my skin even. I even do my little gobbler thing down here, like that kind of getting crepey, and yeah, many of us women are like starting to notice this thing more and more. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And how do I fix it? There's not really any ways to fix it unless you're going to go for, the fillers and the whatever. And I'm just trying to do this the natural way. So once you prime, I think it's probably really good. And there are eye primers out there, obviously. There are primers out there that I trust that you can use as an eye primer. So when I say little goes a long way, you're always using your ring finger, and you're just going to prime like under here, and you're going to prime this and make sure but the ring finger is your most delicate finger. For your two most delicate spots in your face is number one, your eyes and your under eyes. That's why we get those dark bag circles. Because those are blood vessels just popping on us constantly. And then I don't know if you notice, insides of your nose get kind of dark and vessely. Some people's are worse than the others, but this is a really thin skin spot as well. So it's under the eyes, maybe right in here, gets pretty dark, and then there. But I think if you prime them, you're good, and you just kind of got to let it sit, and cool off. Then you're going to go in with that orange, and I'm going to show you on one eye.
Those color correcting, are they like the consistency of an eyeshadow, or are they creamy?
No, they're creamy.
Okay.
I have used orange eyeshadow in a hot spot, and it worked. But that's because we were using, you can't put liquid before powder.
Okay.
Or no, you can put liquid before powder, but you can't put liquid after powder. Does that make sense?
It does.
So,
Cake almost. I've done that.
yeah, but with doing the eyeshadow, what I did is I was really like just kind of like blending it in on this person, and then I airbrushed after, which turns into a powder finish because it's a flawless look when you airbrush, which that's a whole nother story. But so I go in with that orange, and I'm just going to show you. I mean, can you see? It's pretty orange.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it doesn't look super orange, but it does look orange.
Yeah, I mean, you can play with it. Like, I don't need a lot because I already did that part for you, but I just wanted to be able to show you. And then you're not even going to do anything else with that right now. You're going to take your concealer, whatever one you like. Concealer should be about 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation.
Okay.
Okay. And then I just kind of went over that, but I'm still not doing anything to it. And then I love this. Where is my little, here it is. So it's a foundation brush, but it's a little one. And this is the one I use to buff out under my eyes. So this is by BH Cosmetics. Again, don't get paid for this. I just like their brushes. And I think this one is great because it's full, but it's good for like I said, in between the nose, the eye. So now you're going to blend that concealer with the orange. But you're going light, and you're going to hit in that corner. You'll have enough on the brush. You can bring it up and get it in here and kind of hit that dark spot. You kind of always want to do, again, do as I say, not as I do. Sometimes it's just habit, but you really want to kind of go upwards. You're on everything on your face. Always go up.
Oh.
If you're starting to drag stuff down, one, you're going to possibly break more vessels under your eyes and create more of a dark circle. But going up is what we're trying to do anyways. We're always trying to lift up. Even when you're putting on your primers, your moisturizer, everything should be up in strokes. So when I put it on, like if I start at my forehead, I really work the forehead up first. Same, here, work that up first. Same thing with the eye. You want to go up. You just want to keep tapping up when you're putting that, under eye serum or whatever you want to put on. Same thing with this, up. The frown lines, these ones you can kind of press a little bit. And then this is always up. Everything's up because we can drag our faces down, which kind of is not what we want.
Gravity.
We're not like in the ground, like we can handle this. But I don't know if you can see the difference.
I can actually.
So it's a lot brighter already. And then you can go over it with your, you want to touch that skin up a little bit with, I'm just going to kind of even it out for me. Again, I was telling you about this. We can talk about, I can message you later, but it's just like I said, it's like a brightening foundation that I'm kind of like obsessed with.
I'm looking forward to trying it.
Yeah, I like it. It sets in everything and you don't feel like you're like heavy, especially like right now when skin can get so dry in the winter. Okay, so now that's, and I have really bad veins. So like my veins come through, like you can see them like even just on my hands and stuff like that, but you can see like the veins. Like, I mean, when I am totally full face, you would never notice them obviously, but that's where they are. So then from there, just to keep it simple, I had already done my eyebrows. So I'm going to show you, I'm using a just normal, like this is all browns, taupes, neutrals, fair colors. That's it. See this color right here?
Yeah.
That is a flesh tone that works perfect for me. And a lot of people do this last. I say do it first. So you frame your eyebrows, right? That's
Okay.
framing your face. It's the first thing you're going to do after you're done with your under eye and everything else. So I did my brows for you today just so that you could see. Now I'm going to take that flesh tone and I'm going to kind of create just a little bit of a brightener underneath that brow. And I'm not saying like a stripe, because you're gonna end up buffing that in a lot anyways. But you kind of just created a just like a light buff right there already. Then I would say you're gonna want to, for you, just to not, and tell me if I'm insulting you or anything like that, but I don't want to like scare you. I don't want to give you stuff and you're going to be like, Vic, I would never wear that in 1,000,010 years. Now, I do a lot with like under eye for fallout and things like that. But I mean, a freaking Kleenex will work too. So I'm going to go in with this. It's kind of like a, can you see that right there?
Yeah.
It's like a taupey brown. And I'm going to put that on my lower lid. And I'm going to take it as far as I possibly can for you. But you're going to, so yeah, it's going to look dark at first, but we're going to fix this. Don't worry.
Okay. It almost looks like a purpley tint to it. Does it have a little bit of purple in there?
Yeah, I would say it's a brown with a little hint of a purple probably behind it. Okay. That's a big thing. I'm going to be doing a color wheel tutorial, teaching everybody about the back ends of colors. What are pink neutral undertones for foundations? What are yellow undertones? What are the correctors actually for? What's the green one for? What's the purple one for? You know, and it all plays off the color wheel. And that's why you know what a blue red is compared to an orange red, yeah. You know, for lipsticks. And I always tell everybody, you know, 99% of people can wear a red lipstick, but you need a blue red to be able to pull it off, not an orange red. That takes a whole nother thing, a whole nother look. So, okay, so I did that one. And actually,
you did the crease in the whole lower lid.
Yeah, so up to the crease, whole lower lid. Then I'm going to take that neutral color again, and I'm just going to kind of buff out right here so that's not harsh.
Okay.
So you're kind of now bringing that in a little bit, that neutral one we just did under the eyebrow. So you're basically softening that harsh.
Yeah, so there's no line.
Yeah. So buff, 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 buff. That's what you want to do. Now, the biggest thing for this is called, you're going to crease. You're going to create a crease. I like brushes like, trying to find a good one. Sorry, I should have had it ready for you. Of course. Here we go. This is a good one. So it's just kind of a fluffy, but not like that over fluffy. Like, to me, this is over fluffy. This is what you're going to use when you want to add that little pop of color at the end, which I'll show you. But this one is going to be for your crease. So I'm going to go in with a shade darker of brown, for me at least. So this is the one we did on the lid, right?
Yep.
I'm going to go probably one shade down. Like, I'm going to go with this one. It's actually called Booby Trap. It looks pretty dark there, but it's not
dark there.
Yeah, it's almost like a milk chocolate, lighter than milk chocolate cocoa color. The cocoa with the milk in it, probably. I always tap my brushes after I put the powder on, because you don't want too much. And you're going to go in here and you're going to kind of hit that crease. And this is actually you can actually hit the corner too, because we're going to blend all that. So kind of just gave you a crease. And again, we clean it all up. So now you're hitting that crease. So that's going to stand out for you. Okay. So now I did all that. Looks kind of dark, right?
Yep.
Okay. Go back in with that blender again.
The one from under your eyebrow.
Yep.
Okay.
And keep sweeping it because we're getting rid of that harsh.
Yep.
And the same thing over here. And believe it or not, one of my eyes is way different than the other. So, which a lot of people have. And they end up like not being the same half the time, which drives me nuts. But I'm a perfectionist, so it's you know, being with this, I try and get it. So this one takes a little bit more work, but I put that one on kind of a little bit heavier. But you can see it doesn't have to be that heavy. Here's where the fun part comes in. So I have like this little trick I've been doing just to give myself a little bit of a kiss. It's actually just a blush. I'll send it to you. I'm not going to say the brand or anything, but it's kind of got like a lot of little pinks and neutrals or whatever. And I'm going in with that big fluffy one I was telling you about to hit with that pop of color and kind of just hitting over here above where you did that. It's just a simple bit of color. It's not a lot. You could do a peach. You could pull off a peach. You don't want anything shimmer though. Keep it all matte. So I don't know if you can see, I just kind of gave it that little hint of color right over here. Then go back in again. And you want to blend all of it now. So you're kind of hitting it one more time with that. And you can go up as high as you want to go up. I'm just showing you simple for right now. And it's brightening. And then the last thing before your mascara or your eyeliner, whatever you want to do, you don't even have to use that, is I go in with this little tiny brush right here. And I'm using an overdone one. This is pretty shimmery. It's just a highlighter. You don't have to do this, but this gives it that kiss.
So that's not an eyeshadow, that's a highlighter.
This is a highlighter. You can find some in your eyeshadow palettes. They'll have some that'll be kind of cool to work with. You're literally just kind of giving that corner a little bit of a, I'm trying to be dramatic so that you can really see it, but you don't have to be this dramatic because people will see it. I also kind of kiss the front of my nose, down the center of my nose. Little in the cupid's bow. It's not like I'm sparkly sparkle princess like when I'm walking out, but it kind of just brightened everything up. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little edgy, and a lot of people notice this, especially when I wear my glasses. I'm not going to go do the whole thing because I don't want to stripe like 90s Spice Girls type look, but I'm literally going right here in the middle and just giving it a little kick with that shimmer. And it's not sparkle, it's not glitter, it's just, I mean, I really hardly did anything there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I gave you the low, like literally the bottom line of what you can do. Then you would hit it with mascara. There's better ways to do eyeliner now. You don't need a pencil. You need a pencil brush. They're teeny tiny. You get these at paint stores, Michael's,
oh my. Whatever.
Yeah. And so say I wanted to go in now and do a little eyeliner underneath. I have not used a pencil unless it's for an event or a holiday or like I'm working on a wedding or 40 television. For myself, the look that's out there is that smoked out under eye. So this is that brush. I just put a little bit of a darker brown.
So that's darker than the one you put in your crease.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little bit. I mean, you can go with the one you want in your crease. You can match it up. Absolutely. This one's called, it's called Happy Ending. I love this palette just because, well, one, it was sent to me, and it's just everything I would wear on a daily basis. Like if I wanted just nudes, which is what I like. And don't worry about not hitting that waterline. It'll eventually hit, especially if you start playing with a couple of different colors. So like say, just for the fun of it, I'm going to go in with a pink because I just want to show you the different things you could do. So I hit it with the brown, but now I want to go in with maybe like this fuchsia-y pink right here. Kind of sounds a little weird, but you can play with this and you can really.
Oh.
You just smoked out the brown. You can do it with a burgundy. You can do it with.
And you didn't wet the paintbrush or anything. You just, it
No,
went on.
yeah, that's just dry, whatever. There's no like, I mean, you might, I do tell people to invest in the under eye stuff so that you can just have to touch up under your eye with maybe like go back in with that, because it's going to have enough on it. You haven't washed it yet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you want to go back in and get any fallout, bring it up. Even it out, you can do that. But now you can really see that the corners were kind of spiked up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Is it overwhelming?
A little bit.
So what I would like to do for you then, and I think maybe I will do a tutorial on this, is I'm going to do what brushes are for what. Like what do you need to start? You don't need an arsenal. I would like to give you a list to go in with. There is a great neutral palette on ColourPop right now called Coconuts. And it's all browns and the neutral, everything you would need for like an everyday look.
Okay.
Yeah. And I strongly suggest that one just because I really, really enjoy their pigmenting. It lasts, it doesn't like fade into your creases. And I pick up on that stuff. So that's a good one.
I don't know if you can see my eye color. Can you see it? It's like,
yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite things, but nobody ever notices it because I feel like, I don't necessarily know how to bring out the color but they can be yellow sometimes, they can be green sometimes.
That's how mine are. So they're the hazel, but they turn like cat eye. That's how mine are. It's one of the things like my husband actually he's like, some days look so green, other days you look yellow. One of the other things you can do prior to putting on and this is just another different highlighter that I'm using, is you can come in, if that was too dark for you.
Okay.
Just that corner in. And you're kind of brightening up just this little bit right here, which you will notice when you put the glasses on. So now I haven't done any mascara, anything like that, which you totally, that's really all you need. Then maybe a little bit of gloss.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a ton. You look put together. I mean, it's something, again, that you have to get used to. I'm just going to put on a little gloss for you. I'm not actually a gloss fan, but I mean, for women on the go or women getting ready for a Zoom meeting, I mean.
Yeah, that's cute. It has just a little tint of a color in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a simple process. Doesn't have to be overwhelming whatsoever. And I think you definitely can pull it off with your glasses, no doubt.
Well, I'm super excited
in so many ways.
Yeah, I'm excited to go shopping and get some of the stuff you recommend and give it a try.
I definitely suggest also that it doesn't have to be like, you're not trying to make a pinstripe or anything, but that little kiss down here, because when you have your glasses on, this is what we're trying to accent from here You want people to be drawn into that look. They're not really going to be looking here. They're going to see your little bit of gloss. They're going to see your little pixied up nose. They saw how your brows are now framing your face, and so forth. So yeah, I think you absolutely can pull it off.
Well, yay. So if you'll send me the list of things you actually talked about and recommend.
I will. And if you have any other questions at all prior to that, just DM me and we'll go from there.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks so much, Vic.
I'm so excited. So yeah, if we want to do something longer, we absolutely can eventually, and we can start from start to finish if you would like. But I'd rather have you have your little bag in front of you and my little bag in front of me, and we do it together type of thing.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you. Nice seeing you.
Thank you.
Bye.